All right. Kahala Yahweh Bahashim Yahweh Shai Bahashim Rekakadash Juan to Joshua. Greetings to the hopeful elect. All right. We've been blessed for another day, and we're determined to get this work done. So we're gonna go back to Second Kings. And we're gonna go chapter 17 and 18. I'm determined to finish the Second Kings. Like I said, there's a lot of knowledge and wisdom about who we really are and what's really going on with us in this whole format of this world. So let's get it, fam. Okay, chapter 17, all right? Hoshea's reign over Israel, right? Now it says in the 20th year of King Ahaz of Judah. Ahaz means, the one who Yahweh held. Hoshea, son of Eli, began to reign. Now, Hoshea means salvation from the root, pretty much like Mashiach, And Eli means from the shining light, okay? Reigning in Samaria over Israel. He reigned 9 years. He did what was evil in the sight of the Most High, yet not like the kings of Israel who were before him. King Shalmaneser of Israel, of Assyria, the divination practicing zodiac witchcraft practicing other nations, came up against Hoshea, came up against him. Hoshea became his vessel. Basically, remember that's when we were handed over. The northern tribe was the first to become a divination practicing sun worshiping demons. Now it says here that but the king of Assyria found treachery in Hoshea, for he had sent messengers to the kings to King Saul of Egypt, Egypt, and offered no tribute to the kings of Assyria, as he had done to the kings of Assyria. He had done year by year. Therefore, the king of Assyria confined him and imprisoned him. Okay, it says Israel carried captive to Assyria, and when we carried captive, man, not necessarily does it mean we were carried captive physically, but spiritually, man, we were no longer Israelites. We got divorced. We were handed over our papers. And that's why Mashiach came from the tribe of Judah, because they were the last to be chastised. You know what I'm saying? Let's keep it 1,000 here. So let's proceed. The king of Assyria invaded all the land and came to Samaria. For 3 years he besieged it. In the 9th year of Hoshea, the king of Assyria captured Samaria. He carried the Israelites away to Assyria. He placed them in Hala and in Habor. Okay, Hala means a moist table. That means like a slippery slope. You know what I'm saying? And Habor means artificial structure. You know what I mean? Like religions, man, and beliefs, man. You know what I'm saying? They've been formatted. You know what I'm saying? The river of gold, he said, on the heart, and he placed them in Halam, in Habor, right? The river of Gozan, you know what I'm saying? Gozan means a fleece pastures, to be nourished, to be indoctrinated to this, sun worshiping, divination, practicing bullshit. Get the world's under, right? So that's what that means, right? And then it says, in cities of the Medes. The Medes, what does that mean? That's masters of environmental structure. So all these nations that already had that format, from day one, from the fall of man. All right. So let's proceed. This occurred because the people of Israel had sinned against Yahweh Elohim. See, so he sent us over, man. He said, you guys want to be idolaters, want to be like these other nations, then here you go. Hand it over to them, right? And it says, they sinned against Yahweh Elohim, who had brought them out of the land of Egypt, from from under the hand of Pharaoh, king of Egypt. They had worshipped other gods, and walked in the customs of all the nations whom the Most High drove off before the people of Israel, and in the customs that the kings of Israel had introduced. Basically, wanted to be like them, wanted to be practice witchcraft, divination, sorcery. When we were set apart, then we got our divorce paper. Okay. Now it says, the people of Israel secretly did things that were not right against Yahweh their Elohim. They built for themselves high places at all their towns, sun worshiping, from watchtowers to fortified cities. They set up for themselves pillars and sacred poles on every high hill and under every green tree. There they made offerings on all the high places as the other nations did, whom Yahweh had carried away before them. They did wicked things, provoking the Most High to anger. They served idols, of which the Most High had said to them, you shall not do this. Yet the Most High warned Israel and Judah by every prophet and every seer, saying, turn from your evil ways and keep my commandments and my statutes in accordance with all the law that I have commanded you, ancestors, and that I sent to you by my servants the prophets. They would not listen, but were stubborn as their ancestors had been, who did not believe in Yahweh Elohim, till this day, you know what I'm saying? It's like still idiots, that's what we suffer. Now it says here, they despised his status and his covenant that he made with their ancestors and the warnings that he gave them. They went after false idols and became false. They went after and became false. They followed the nations that were around them, concerning whom the Most High had commanded them that they should not do as they did. That's what we call set apart spirit. And we're supposed to be set apart, to the Kakadash. Now it says here that they rejected all the commandments of the Most High and made for themselves cast images of 2 calves. They made a sacred pole, worship all the hosts of heaven. There you go, sun, moon, worshiping, divination, and serve Baal, the sun. Okay, they made their sons and their daughters pass through the fire. They used divination and augury. See, hallelujah, man. See, they use augury. Okay, he goes. They sold themselves to do evil in the sight of the Most High, provoking him to anger. Yeah, become oracles, be defiled, get drunk, get high. You know what I'm saying? Become a vessel for demons, like the other nations are. And that says here that therefore the Most High was very angry with Israel and removed them out of his sight. None was left but the tribe of Judah alone. See, like I said prior, the tribe of Judah was the last to get chastised. Now, it says here, Judah also did not keep the commandments of the Most High, the Elohim, but walked in the custom that Israel had introduced. Remember the previous chapter when he said that the king of Israel prevailed over Judah is because, like I said, with the northern kingdom, in the northern kingdom, they introduced all this bullshit to the whole nation of Israel. Okay, let's proceed. Now it says here that so the Most High rejected all other descendants of Israel. He punished them and gave them into the hands of the plunderers. Yeah, he just basically got divorce papers until he had banished them from his presence. When he had torn Israel from the house of David, they made Jeroboam, son of Nebat, king. Jeroboam drove Israel from following the Most High and made them commit great sin. See, so basically, that means that Jeroboam means a multitude of people. That more and more Israelites. Like that's why we got to a point where it's 2/3 now. They did not depart from them until the Most High removed them on his sight, right? As he had foretold through all his servants, the prophets. So Israel was exiled from their own land to Assyria until this day. So basically until this day, you know what I'm saying? Primarily the northern kingdom, saying they went off completely, you know what I'm saying? That's why it's very hard for, very few northern kingdoms, just the ones that been, I guess, called into this, man, because most of our people, man, they love the Queen of Heaven, they love all that shit, they love witchcraft, all that bullshit. Look at our older women, man. You know what I'm saying? Now it says here, Assyria resettles Samaria. The king of Assyria brought people from Babylon, Kuta, Ava, Hamath, and Sepharad, and placed them in the cities of Samaria in place of the people of Israel. Okay, I'm going to tell you what that means, all right? All right, Kuta means a cult, okay? And Ava means a twisted coat, basically. So Kuta, Ava means a twisted coat. Hamas means a fortress, you know what I'm saying, fortified. And Separavam, that's the sun god, man. You know what I'm saying? So basically, the zodiac, witchcraft, and worldly religions, man. That's what the plot, okay? The knowledge of good and evil, you know what I'm saying? So when you practice witchcraft, divination, good and evil, you know what I'm saying? You dictate outcomes that are good for you, but at the expense of doing wickedness to other people, man. You know what I'm saying? No good. You're going to be destroyed for that. Now, proceed. Now, it says here that they took possessions of Samaria, you know what I'm saying, in place of the people. That's why instead of Israelites, we became pagans, basically. You know what I mean? When they first settled there, they did not worship the Most High. Therefore, the Most High sent lions amongst them, which killed some of them. So the kings of Assyria was sold. The nation that you have carried away and placed in the cities of Samaria do not know the law of the God of the land. Therefore, he has sent lions among them. They are killing them because they do not know the law of the Elohim of the land. Basically, you know what I'm saying? That this way of life, that's what, in Genesis, he said, for that day, you should surely die, you know what I'm saying? Yeah, because this good and evil, man, just leads to death, man, basically. Then the king of Assyria commanded, send there one of the priests whom you have carried away from there. Let him go and live there and teach them the law of the God of the land. So one of the priests whom they had carried away from Samaria came and lived in them in Bethel. Basically, they brought us, these fake, priests. The structures of worldly religion, man. That's what it means, because Bethel is the house of the Most High. He taught them how they should worship the Lord. See? So that's what you have all these unsound doctrines, taught by men and twisted quotes, masquerading, divination as religion. But every nation still made gods of its own and put them in the shrines of the high places the people of Samaria had made. Every nation, the cities in which they lived, the people of Babylon made Sukkot, become the people of Kut made Nergal, the people of Hamath made Ashma, the Avitites made Nebas and Tarkat, the Shepherdites burned the children in the fire to Adramelech and Amalek, the gods of Sepharvaim. Basically, different names for sun worshiping, because it all leads up to sun worshiping, moon worshiping, divination, stars, right? They also worship the Most High and appointed from amongst themselves all sorts of people as priests of the high places. See, they masqueraded, they claim that they worship, the living Elohim, but they don't, what I'm saying? Masqueration, what I'm saying? So they worship the most, and they serve so they worship the Most High, but also serve their own gods after the manner of the nations from amongst whom they had been carried away. To this day, they continue to practice their former customs. Selah, hallelujah. So to this day, you're masquerading, saying our scriptures, infuse them with paganism. That's what it's really saying, man. Now, they do not worship Yahweh Elohim, and, and they do not follow the statutes or the ordinance or the law or the commandments of the Most High. The children of Jacob, whom he named Israel, the Most High made a covenant with them and commanded them, you shall not worship other gods or bow yourselves to them or serve them. Right? It says, or serve them or sacrifice them, but you shall worship Yahweh your Elohim, who brought you out of the land of Egypt with great power and with an outstretched arm. You shall bow yourselves to him, and to him you shall sacrifice. The status and the ordinance and the law and the commandments that he wrote for you, you shall always be careful to observe. You shall not worship other gods. You shall not forget the covenant that I have made with you. You shall worship the Most High your Elohim. He will deliver you out of the hands of your enemies. You should condemn, however, but they continue practicing their former customs. So these nations worship the Most High, but also serve their carved images. To this day, the children and the children continue to do as their ancestors did. Salah, hallelujah. You know what, man? I'm just going to have to do one chapter per Kings because they're long and just has so much to explain. And I understand, either the attention span of my people or just, time consuming, because, you're in bondage and captivity here. But I hope this was edifying, glorified by Yahweh Bahashim, Yahweh Shai. Most High be willing to provide with the chapter 8, later on today, or whenever, as soon as I can, And that note, I want to say Shalom.